What's up, y'all? Mr. Rogers here. I'm just going to go a little more in depth to the mods of the FreeBell that I've done. So, if you ever love FreeBell, that's a splice loop that just allows me to girth hitch it onto my harness. It's not important. You can do that 100 different ways. The first real mod I did was remove the rocker because of the back feeding issue on really long pitches. Okay, so you can just remove the screw. I had to heat up the back a little bit. Felt like I might strip the hex head, so I heated up the back, and it appears to be some medium duty Loctite that was used on it. So just in case, a little tiny torch helps release that. So I removed that bolt. I spliced a Bremel splice, very tight. Put in this little black spacer. I'm gonna try to find a piece of metal. But what this does is it just keeps the abrasion of the rope and the Dyneema from really, from braiding a bunch. Okay, then I made the other eye of the eye to eye, just large enough to go over the head of the bolt, like a button. Okay, sits nicely in there. And then when you close it, it really traps it in. You can't pull it off at all. So very, very secure. So that's the first major mod I did. The second was putting this hole right through here. And that's for throw length issue. Because when it hangs on your harness, it hangs pretty low, and ergonomically, it wants to feed better pulling down. So if it's already on your harness, that's not a lot of room. Whereas when this is on the harness and I'm pulling forward, I get a ton more throw length. Okay, so really, really improve the throw length issue, and one of the most major complaints of the FreeBell. Okay, so very simple. I'm going to just show you, there's two ways to thread it. Put it through and then out the little window in the side. You can see feeds very, very well. Okay. The other way to feed it in is, instead of putting it over here, you start it on the opposite side of the center bolt and then wrap it around. What is the difference between the two? Really, the only difference is that you're going to get more of these teeth contacting the rope when going on the, in this case, it'll be my side of the bolt rather than the opposite side. Okay, it seems to feed very well. I'm gonna hold my finger here so the rope doesn't pop out, but it seems to feed just as good on that side as it does when I have it on the other side. So I don't know what is going to feel better when I'm actually yarding out slack, because I've only used it thus far in that orientation. Okay, so I'm going to cover it just so I can pull it to lock real quick. All right, so now that it's locked, I'm going to clip this in so we can actually yard on it. Okay, you can see it doesn't move. This is like a 9.2. I can hang on this, and it does not slip. Okay, so for me, initially, that's where I decided to trust this orientation. Now, undeniably, and we'll show you when we do it from the other side. Okay, gonna put the cover back over just so it doesn't pop out. Now, I think undeniably you can see that that's just a steeper angle, more friction, more holding power. Both can hold my body weight up, which is more than enough in my opinion. My opinion on backup devices like this or any other that will act as a third hand. Once that third hand engages, all it does is need to re-engage your primary, and I don't think that takes a whole ton of force, at very most my body weight. The reason I chose this spot, I put the top part of the little window I cut in it roughly or just in line with the apex of the wheel. I figured rather than it just coming straight out, one, that would have, I think, messed with the integrity of this aluminum here for real strength. But two, I wanted it to give a little just more pressure onto the wheel, and I think it does so, having just that little bit of a bend. Now, when it is on your harness, it doesn't pull against that part of the little window notch I made there. It actually just kind of pulls up a little bit, and it makes a nice straight path through. Between it and the Dyneema Autoblock Prusik friction hitch addition, I think between those two things, it really makes a big difference in enjoyability of this backup. The other thing, if you haven't done it, you've had your FreeBell for a while, do take it apart. It gets dirty in there, okay? Polish clean this bolt, clean the PTFE washer, and in general, it makes it feed even, much smoother. So I hadn't done that yet, and I've owned this. I was one of the early Kickstarter people to receive it. So it was a big difference when I cleaned it. I didn't think it would make that big of a difference. And I used just a little bit of silicone lube in there just to help things. That's it. Hopefully that's informative. Maybe you'll want to try it. I guess let me know if there's questions about this setup or any tests you want me to do. I have done some drop tests. I don't want to use a ton of weight to potentially mess the FreeBell up, but I've dropped some 15-gallon weights on it, and it does what it's supposed to. Like I said, let me know if there's any questions. Cheers.